Alright folks, welcome back. This is Balatro everyday, and today we're continuing with the gold stakes. Even though we already got the completionist achievement, that doesn't mean that there isn't more for us to learn. Our short-term goal is to keep increasing our win rate. So, we want to learn how to win more consistently, be able to win back-to-back runs without having to keep restarting for ideal starting conditions. And then our long-term goal, maybe if we end a run with a particularly powerful build, maybe we can set up a very long endless run on the gold stake instead of endless runs on the white stake. Let's jump right in here with the blue deck. Alright, in Ante 1 here, I'm looking at the skip tags. Juggle tag gives us a temporary boost that maybe is not worth skipping for. And then voucher tag gives us, we could get an extra voucher in the next shop, but we're probably not going to be able to afford it. We're just starting out here in Ante 1. Of all of the possible skip tags that we could have, if you didn't already know, some of these you can't get in Ante 1 at all. So for example, you can't get orbital tag, you can't get top-up tag, giving you 2 common jokers in Ante 1. That would be too powerful, right? If you just, as your first skip, you get 2 jokers. You can't get spectral packs in Ante 1, you can't get negative tag in Ante 1, but you can get things like, foil and holographic tags. You could get this investment tag giving you $25. Holographic tag I want to highlight as being especially powerful, potentially good value. It is a gamble, Sometimes it'll land on a joker that you don't want. Sometimes it'll land on a joker that's, maybe it's an eternal joker, perishable joker, rental joker, these stickered jokers on the high stakes, and those could be things that are undesirable. But, even if it lands on a, let's say perishable joker, it could still be worth it for the perishable joker. The holographic tag also makes the joker free. And so, in the early game, having a source of plus mult is particularly powerful, and it's worth going for in the early game. You need to buy round 4. So Ante 2 small blind is going to be 1,000 points. 1,000 points you can't do without jokers, or like you can't reasonably do without jokers. Like technically you can, but to be able to do it reasonably consistently, very, very difficult. And so being able to rather than taking a chance on however many shops, having the guarantee of the plus 10 mult, even if it's on an eternal, let's say, hallucination value generator that you can't sell, having just the plus 10 early is very, very useful to just getting the run off the ground. And if you have a stable start to your run, then that can give you the freedom to invest in more value generators, money generating jokers, rather than investing in more scoring, re-rolling for scoring. The investment tag, it was balanced around Antes 2 and 3, and then so it falls off. $25 is less worth it in Antes 4 and 5, but then in Ante 1 specifically, it's not at all balanced around Ante 1, so it's super overpowered for Ante 1. Getting the money early is super relevant because, the obvious thing is you can use the money for interest. Less obviously, you can use the money to invest in other value generators. You can buy standard packs to get seals, which are great value generators. You can get, the devil from Arcana packs. You can get, invest in just money generating jokers, value generating jokers early on. And so you get more than just interest if you get the $25 early. Typically what I suggest is don't buy booster packs until after you have $25 in the bank. Max out your interest first, because that's the easiest value generator to get. And then once you have maxed out interest, then you can start buying, standard packs and Arcana packs and stuff like that. So investment tag just gives you the money from the beginning. And so that could be something that, if you're personally not interested in your win percentage, if you're not interested in your win rate, but you just want to beat the higher stakes just for the sake of beating it, then this could be the kind of thing that you re-roll for, that you restart for. I think coupon tag is also similarly powerful, but not nearly as powerful. Like I said, investment tag is not at all balanced around Ante 1. It's overpowered for Ante 1. Coupon tag is okay. A lot of discussion about the skip tags. They are conditional and it's complicated. The value the valuation of whether I should skip or not in the moment. And so I've attempted in the past to explain on the fly, what I'm thinking when I'm deciding whether or not to skip. And the discussion has not been very complete or thorough. I'm not claiming that I've explained myself very well in the past. And so what I've attempted to do, I made a Reddit post, and so I'll link that in the description of this video if you want to check that out. Some of the more nuanced thoughts around whether or not we should skip in different scenarios, and what is the true cost of skipping. Anyway, for this run in particular, okay, knowing that I'm not going to skip, first round here for 300 points. Typically what I'm looking for is a high straight or a high flush. So maybe what I can do is I can go for spades here. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw away this 2 of spades. If I do get more spades, if I do get the flush, having the 2 of spades is not going to be a 300 point flush. So maybe we throw away the 2 and then go for a higher scoring flush. Some higher spades possibly. Now I'm presented with, okay, I've got the king, queen, jack here. I could go for the high straight instead of the high flush. If I go for the high flush, it would need to be an 8 or higher of spades. So we've got 5 of those in the deck. We've also got, 8 spades total. If I don't get the high spades, I can still play a spades flush and I can win in 2 hands. It's not unreasonable to win in 2 hands instead of 1 hand. So let's try that. Okay, so we didn't get there on the flush. So I'm gonna try one more time. There we go. This flush would have been a 1 shot here. If this weren't an ace, if we had the 2, then this flush plus the 15 points that we had with the 2 would not have been 300 points. It would have taken us 3 hands possibly. So I'm going to go ahead and play this flush now. So 2 hands instead of 1 hand. It is a difference. It is a noticeable difference, I will say. Alright, the first shop here gives us an 8 ball. It's a rental 8 ball. It's a value generator, generating tarot cards. I think at this point in the run, this early on, if it weren't a rental, I would take it. But for a rental common, I think maybe this is not worth the $3 per round, this common joker. Then I'm considering, okay, when do I need to have my scoring online? So like with the red deck and the blue deck specifically, getting 2 300 point hands to beat the boss here is not that bad. And so like 600 points, I can do that even without any jokers. The issue becomes in round 4, the ante 2 small blind. The ante 2 small blind, we need 1,000 points. And with 1,000 points, I can score 3 300 point hands, and that's still not enough. And so I need to have at least 1 joker, 1 scoring joker, or some source of scoring, maybe a planet card. I need to have something before ante 2. And the question is, if I don't take this buffoon pack here, if I skip this, am I going to be able to survive in ante 2? Am I going to be able to survive round 4? And the answer is probably. I have 2 more shops. 2 more shops gives me a look at, on average, 3 additional jokers. And if I'm looking at 3 jokers, the odds of me finding at least 1 that helps me score, pretty high chance. If I take this buffoon pack, I have a risk of maybe I find an eternal joker that I don't want to take because it's eternal. Maybe I find, rental jokers that I don't want to take because I can't afford it early on. And if I do get a rental, then, most of the time with the buffoon pack, the fail case is you just pick up jokers and then you sell them. And if I pick up a rental, it only sells for $1. Perishables are okay. I think perishables are still worth it. I think the buffoon pack is, in general, good enough to where if I was concerned about being able to score, I would take it. And it's not worth as much as it is on lower stakes. It's not worth as much as it is without the perishables and rentals. Like if you're playing on low stakes, of course you take the buffoon pack every time. But here, because of the risks involved, it's not worth as much. That doesn't mean that it's worthless. That just means that it's worth less. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I'm not going to take the buffoon pack here because I think we can get by without it. That does mean in the second round here, we do need 2 hands now. 2 hands in order to score 450 points. Of course, if you get some kind of scoring help from the buffoon pack, then you can win in 1 hand and it saves you $1. So that's something to consider as well. Here I could go for, I have the 2 pair, I could go for the full house, but there's only, 4 possible outs. Either I get the 6 or the 10 here. I think it's going to be easier, potentially like more consistent, to go for the flush here. We could go for a straight. Jack 10 9 is a particularly strong start to a straight. Or do I want to go for hearts? I think it's going to be easier to get the flush than it is the straight, so let's try that to start. Yeah, again here we've got the 3 pairs. I'm gonna go for another heart. Didn't get the hearts. That's disappointing, but it's not the end of the world either. Still missing on the hearts. So we could go for the straight now. We're missing either an 8 or a king. If we do that, there's 7 possible outs, whereas like there's 9 possible hearts that we can draw. And it would be worth more points. Okay, so here's, for starters, here's the hearts flush. And then what am I looking for? If I play the 2 pair here, so 2 pair, this is 100 points, right? If this is 30 chips plus 20, the way I'm counting this is 8 and 7 is 15 times 2, so that's 30. That is enough points. So in the second round here, you need like at least 1 high scoring hand, at least 1 300-point hand, maybe a high straight or just any flush, maybe a full house, but it doesn't have to be a full house. And then also you can win, your second hand doesn't have to be a 5-card hand, it could be 2 pair is possible. If you get 2 pair, aces and face cards could be a good combination. Either way, when we were going for the flush, we ended up being unlucky, not getting the suit that we were looking for. That doesn't mean that we did anything wrong, that just we got unlucky that time, and that's okay. So we spent 4 hands instead of spending, just 2 hands possible. All right, now going into the boss here. So now if I pass on this shop, if I don't buy these jokers, I only have 1 more shop between me and round 4. And round 4 is when it really puts you to the test, whether or not you have enough scoring components. And so do I want something like the Swashbuckler? I think as an Eternal, this is pretty bad. So it's a common joker. It's a joker that gets easily replaced in Ante's 3 or 4. I replaced this with something else. With an Eternal, I can't replace it. And so I think that's not something that I want in general. But if I was desperate, I might take it, even though it's Eternal. If this were like an Eternal, let's say Crazy Joker or Eternal Devious Joker, maybe that's something that you would consider, even though it's Eternal. What I can do instead, because this buffoon pack is here, I'm going to take the buffoon pack. We get a choice of 4 jokers. So, 1 shop gives you a look at 1.5 jokers, and then if you reroll, you get to see another 1.5 jokers on average. It averages out to about 1.5 jokers per shop, and so this is like 2.5 shops worth of jokers that I get to see. So like that's pretty good value. All right, what are our options? Okay, we can get Juggler, makes it easier for us to draw our hands, but it doesn't help us score. Jolly Joker early on is good enough. +8 is good enough. +8 currently is a ×3 to any of these hands. If I have a +8, that's a ×3 to what I'm currently doing. But again, here it's Eternal, and so this is going to fall off very rapidly. DNA is pretty bad in most circumstances, pretty bad because it costs you a hand in order to do the thing. This is perishable, but because it's a rare joker, I could always just take it and then sell it for, you get $4 out of it or something like that, maybe $3. I forgot how much DNA costs, whether it's $7 or $8. I think the obvious thing to do is we just take Riffraff. Riffraff is incredibly powerful. This is a perishable Riffraff. Most of the time you don't keep it for more than 5 rounds anyway. The best time to take riffraff is of course early when you don't have any jokers, and so right now is the best time for riffraff. Is it worth the rental fee? You know, normally riffraff costs like $6, and then having a rental reduces it down to $1, right? And then so, you know, paying 2 rounds of rental fees, that's about the same as, you know, just buying a regular riffraff for $6. And so, you know, even though it's rental, it's worth it, except for, you know, in this buffoon pack, it's already discounted. I've already paid $6, but then this is rental on top of that. Is pretty stinky, but riffraff is powerful enough that it's worth it regardless. It's worth it for the rental fee. Riffraff generates jokers. I can sell the jokers to, you know, make up for the rental price, or after generating the jokers, I can always just sell riffraff and not pay the rental fee. Because I have this, because I know I have riffraff, I'm guaranteed over the next 2 rounds, I'm guaranteed 4 jokers. Now I don't need to spend my money on anything else. You know, if I didn't have the buffoon pack, I might consider taking a celestial pack instead of this swashbuckler. Taking the celestial pack, this is a permanent bonus to, you know, my scoring, whereas like swashbuckler, I think of this as a temporary bonus. Like, even though it's eternal here, I think of it as temporary because later on it becomes obsolete when you have higher level poker hands and when you have card enhancements in your deck. Every common joker is perishable. Even if it doesn't have a perishable sticker, every common joker is perishable. It becomes obsolete later. Even the scaling ones. Alright, to start here, plus 20 mult from half joker is incredible. Superposition as another value generator is better on red and blue deck, and currently we're playing on blue deck, so you know that's not bad. Also very good on the abandoned deck. Of course, if you have less cards in your deck, it's easier for you to find specific cards. Here, what I think I'm going to go for, I could just play the 3 of a kind and we could just win in one hand here with the help of the half joker. Is it worth it for us to, you know, maybe take a risk, maybe spend 2 hands and 2 discards in order to set up our superposition? Maybe spend 3 hands and 2 discards to set up our superposition and get a random tarot card. I think this early on, it's not worth the risk. I'd rather just have the extra dollars until we have the interest secured, and then we can start taking risks. You know, we can start going for this superposition. Maybe we'll get some other jokers instead of half joker. We'll get something that will support our making straights here. Do I want to sell riffraff? It is going to cost me $3 here. I think riffraff is powerful enough that I'm going to keep it around. If I keep it around for one more round, then riffraff is going to generate me 2 additional jokers. Those 2 random jokers are probably worth the $3. So let's just play the 3 of a kind here. All right, now Mercury here to level up pairs. Pairs are compatible with half joker, but maybe something to consider. You know, this half joker is replaceable. I don't have to stick with this. You know, riffraff is going to generate replacements. I could be doing something else. And so maybe I don't want to go all in on, you know, pairs here. And, you know, as far as like the different planet cards are concerned here, you know, what I typically suggest in any run, you know, don't buy booster packs until you have $25 in the bank. There are things that you buy early, they're worth it even if it costs you interest, even if it takes you that much longer for you to build up your bank. And so like early scoring jokers, you know, like this devious joker, or it could be crazy joker, you know, those are very much worth it early, you know, worth spending down below $25. I think superposition is worth it early, even if it costs you a little bit of interest. For things like the planet cards, I think an early Saturn has the same level of value as like a, you know, devious joker would, or the same level of value as like a crazy joker would. And so this is the type of thing that I would be willing to take early from the shop. These other planets, probably not. And so like with Mercury only giving me +1 mult, only giving me +15 chips, even though it costs only $3, like a joker costs $4. So early on, I don't take this, but you know, if this came back around in 2 rounds, I would buy it. Okay, So here's something that we could consider. We could go for the straights. We could go Devious Joker with superposition here. You know, of course, the Saturn cards are very powerful. Straights are very rewarding in the late game. The question is like, am I going to be able to survive long enough in order to make that happen? You know, am I going, you know, early on I don't have any Saturn cards. It's going to be a while before I start leveling up my straights. And so maybe Devious Joker is the kind of thing that allows me to stabilize early and then gives me the freedom to, you know, build up my Saturn cards later. So I'm interested in doing that. Then I don't need this half Joker. I can make room for 2 Jokers from the Riffraff here. Since I have Riffraff generating Jokers, I don't need Buffoon Pack here. If I didn't have Riffraff, I would also probably pass on this Buffoon Pack because I know Devious Joker is enough for the next 2 rounds here. So let's go next. Alright, Mega Buffoon Pack skip is one of the few things. There's not very many things that would be worth it here as an Ante 2 skip, but this is one of the few things that could be worth it. You know, like I said, being able to see 4 Jokers, that's like 2.5 shops worth of value there. And you get the Jokers, right? You don't have to pay for them. You already pick up the Buffoon Pack and you take them. We are missing out on value from the Riffraff, though Riffraff is kind of breaking even right now where it costs us $3, but it generates $3 worth of Jokers that we can sell. If they're bad, we can sell them. And so, you know, with Riffraff kind of breaking even, it's better to take the Mega Buffoon Pack here and not pay for the rental fee with the Riffraff. Let's do that. You know, as far as like when we do skip, it does make all future scoring requirements 50% bigger, but it is also going to give us, you know, potentially 50% more scoring, or maybe we just get garbage. So let's see here. Square is, you know, on one hand not very powerful. You know, it's kind of, as a common Joker, even as a scaling common Joker, it's going to be better than a lot of commons, but it's still a common Joker. And so, you know, not very powerful overall. Whereas like more what I'm looking for right now is something that's going to score a lot right now and then give me time until I get my Saturn cards in the future. And, you know, Scary Face could be that kind of thing, except, you know, here as a rental is maybe not something that I'm interested in doing. And, you know, with it giving chips is a little bit redundant with, you know, Devious Joker here, so that's not something that I want. Hallucination as like another value generator I think is very powerful. I think is very much worth it. But again, here as a rental, I think we're not able to take it. I don't think that this will give me $3 worth of value every round, or at least not right now. It definitely does more when you have more money to spend on booster packs that I'm going to buy anyway. And so I think we don't take that, which only leaves us with, I guess we take To the Moon. And then we can also, you know, both of these rentals sell for $1. I'm going to take Square Joker and then just sell it. Then with this Riffraff here, when we start the blind, we can generate 2 Jokers or maybe only generate 1 Joker. The question is like, okay, do I want to make room? Do I want to sell some other Joker? How badly do I want this superposition as like a value generator? How badly do I want To the Moon as like a value generator? To the Moon currently is giving me plus $2 worth of interest. If I get an additional Joker from Riffraff that I can sell, then To the Moon is giving me $3 worth of interest. It maxes out at $5 after maybe one more round. I can get up to $25 in the bank. And so maybe I sell To the Moon and then make room for 2 Jokers from the Riffraff. Even though it's an uncommon Joker and an uncommon value generator, I think we sell it. Is that true? Maybe I don't need Devious Joker. Well, I think that's too risky, too dangerous. If I sell Devious Joker, there's a good chance that Riffraff gives us 2 Jokers that don't score. So, is superposition worth an extra $2? I say extra $2 because I'm missing out on generating a Joker with Riffraff. Is To the Moon. I prefer let's get rid of superposition. I do think it's good. I do think it's worthwhile. I don't think it's like good enough to justify blocking riffraff here. And with these, with Todd and Fist now, I have a source of chips. I have a source of solid plus mult. Now I don't need Devious Joker. I could sell it if I want. Now I don't need riffraff. If I'm holding on to these jokers, if these jokers I never sell them, then that means riffraff is no longer generating value. So maybe I sell it and then I don't have to pay the rental fee. This combination here, Fist plus Todd, means it doesn't matter what hand I play. Kind of doesn't matter. Let's go for 2 pair. Let's go for, you know, maybe high odd cards. Rather than going for a straight, it'll be easier for us to get the odd cards than it is for us to get the straight, unless I guess we just get the natural straight here. Maybe I'll discard the 3. So 7, 8, 9, 10. Jack. Okay, and then we know we can score 4,000 points, so that's enough for this boss, and then also, you know, the next couple rounds. So, you know, as far as like how is the run going, how is the start going, this is an incredibly powerful start. This is an incredibly successful run so far. All right, now what I have money. How do I want to spend it? So if I am going for straights, which we don't necessarily have to go for straights, but if I am going for straights, then I prioritize Celestial packs. All right, we get a Jupiter card, we get Mars, we get Mercury. Between the 3 of these, I'm more likely to want to do this. So if I have Todd here, I'm more likely to want to go for maybe 4 of a kind, aces or 9s. So maybe I'll take a Mars card here. You know, definitely Mercury is easier to play. And then so early you can, you know, play a bunch of pairs or whatever. You know, definitely Todd, pairs plus Fist, that's already enough points on its own. But, you know, later on, pairs are going to have a hard time scoring. Like, you know, I'm not going to say that you can't get there with pairs. It's just going to be harder if we go for pairs. And then later on, what we could do is we could play 4 of a kind would be stronger. And so it's worth investing right now to be able to play 4 of a kind in the future. I don't want this standard pack because it's going to take me down below $25 interest. Normally I would take hallucination here, but for an eternal, probably we don't do it. I want to make sure I have my empty joker slots here. I could consider the business card. I think it'll pay for itself. Though if I am playing face cards as straights, then I'm going to get less value from Todd, less score from Todd. These are like slightly incompatible here. But what you can do is you can play face cards as like 2 pair, or like a pair of face cards just for money, and then separately, you know, play a full house with Todd, or like a straight with Todd. I think I'm going to pass on this business card. I think it's going to be challenging to get it to pay for itself, and we already have, you know, to the moon here. I want to keep my interest, so let's go next. All right, this boss is particularly stinky. It makes it hard for us to draw a straight, but I guess they've been kind to us so far with the straight. We can play the straight, and we'll get 2 random discards. We'll get the Fist value here. This is great. 3 more rounds on to the moon. Now we got $45. Now we can be a little bit frivolous with our money. So definitely want paintbrush. Paintbrush is going to make it easier for me to draw straights if that's what I'm doing, which I'm not guaranteeing that that's what I want to be doing. I think 4 of a kind is like a pretty good end game plan. I think, you know, just leveled up straights is a pretty good end game plan. So we'll see how these celestial packs go. Let's go small one first. The big one has more options, and so I'm going to start with the more narrow one, and then whatever I get out of this one, then try to match it with the bigger one, right? So let's start with less options. Less options, we could go for another Jupiter card here. We could go for full houses, 3 of a kind. I think, you know, between all of these options, if I am going to do Todd, maybe full houses rather than 3 of a kind. We do have, you know, the extra hand size here. Makes it easier for us to get full houses. If we didn't have the extra hand size, I think it's justifiable to go for 3 of a kind instead of full house. If you are playing 3 of a kind with the fist, it makes it easy to just add your extra, you know, low cards as part of your 3 of a kind to remove them from your hand. Now I can also afford the Celestial Pack. So if we are going for, like I said, straights, then Celestial Packs are premium. So now I have to decide, do I want to keep going with 4 of a kind, or do I want to begin to build straights? Like this Devious Joker, it's just a common Joker, it's replaceable. I don't need this. I can just rely on Fist and Todd here. But with the extra hand size, I think straights are rewarding enough that it's worth going for. Let's go for straights. In that case, I don't want stone cards and I don't need the smeared Joker, so let's just go next. 3,000 points, we already know that we can do that. We have another skip tag here for the investment tag. And so we would get $25, but we wouldn't get $25 until after the boss. So the question is, like, if I skip now, do I have enough scoring requirements to win the next 2 rounds? And the answer is probably have enough score to do that. Is this worth $25? I'm gonna guess probably not. You do get some value from just being able to see shops, even though it doesn't directly translate into money. Remember, it costs money to re-roll, and so it is worth money to just see jokers. If you see more jokers, you have a better chance of finding eventually the ones that you're looking for. Same with seeing more booster packs. The Saturn cards are particularly rewarding. Not just that the numbers are big on the Saturn cards, you know, leveling up your straights, but also they don't take up any joker slots. You have a limited number of joker slots, so like negative jokers are, you know, sometimes premium, and then the same with Saturn cards, planet cards in general, premium. Let's go next. All right, here I've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's a straight if I want it. And now with the leveled up straight, I don't even need that much help from the fist here. You know, 4,000 points already. $10 worth of interest. We could take foil here, sock my buskin. And with the re-triggers on face cards, currently I don't have my face cards, are not really doing anything interesting, and so re-triggers on face cards, that's just extra chips. You know, like if I play 3 face cards, that's plus 30 chips on top of plus 50 chips, you know, comparable-ish to Devious Joker here. A little bit of conflict here with Todd. If I do get Empress, I could go Empress with Sock and Buskin here. It doesn't take very much for this re-triggering to be worth it, for it to be good. And you know, this little bit here from, you know, an Empress Tarot card, these things are particularly common, finding the enhanced cards to re-trigger a Sock and Buskin here. But I think we don't need this. I think this is it's expensive. It's $8 and it's perishable, so I'm not going to sock my buskin this time. I'm going to go Celestial Pack for Saturn. Maybe some consideration before I open the Celestial Pack. The last card that we used was a Saturn card, so if this Arcana Pack has a Fool, I can copy a Saturn card. Is particularly powerful. If we don't get that, some things that we can consider. We've got Hangman here. If I am trying to set up straights, this could be something that's very helpful for setting up straights. Of course, aces are very good with Todd here, but Todd is maybe a little bit redundant with Devious Joker, and then also becomes obsolete later once we start leveling up our straights. Both of these end up becoming obsolete later. So maybe, you know, with the Hangman, I could remove the aces, or because of the fist here, I could consider removing the low cards and go for higher middle-ish straights. I think that's something that I want to be doing. I also have a Priestess here for some planet cards. Between all of these options, I could also make a gold card for more money. I think for me, with money from interest and money from To the Moon, I think I'm going to pass on the gold card. I'm actually going to use the Priestess instead because of how powerful the Saturn cards are. Also, I know that there's a Celestial Pack in the shop, and so even if I get bad planets, then those duplicates won't show up in the Celestial Pack, and I can leverage that as a way to increase my chances of getting Saturn cards in the future. So picking up this Priestess here is kind of an investment. Right, as long as I'm holding on to these, I won't see any more of these. It makes it more likely for me to get Saturn cards, and my Celestial Packs are now more valuable than before, 50% more valuable than before, 50% more likely to give me Saturn. Hangman, I'm going to go ahead and remove the low cards because we have the Fist. I think there is some consideration for taking the Wheel also. If Hangman wasn't here, would you rather have a gold card or the Wheel? Probably I'd take the gold card, but, you know, Wheel of Fortune, the chance is not very high. 1 in 4 chance is not very high, but the payout is very high. Plus 50 chips is huge. This early on, plus 10 mult is huge, right? And so with the payout being so high, and also this adds on top of your jokers, it doesn't take up any additional joker slots. So I think of the Wheel as kind of like similar value proposition to Celestial Packs, right? Celestial Packs have a chance of giving you a planet card. This buffs all of your hands, plus 50 chips, plus 10 mult to all of your hands. So situations where you would take a Celestial Pack are also situations where you should be spending on Wheel of Fortune. But I think, you know, this early in the game, having the gold card is very valuable. But the most valuable thing to me in general is just the deck manipulation, and that's why I'm always able to find straights when I want to. You know, if there were a Hermit here for 20 bucks, I would still take the Hangman before taking the $20 Hermit. Now, with the Celestial Pack, we have, there's only 9 total planets. We're blocking 2 of them, and so there's 7 planets left over. Show me 3 out of 7 planets. We get Saturn, easily. And now do I want this Empress? I think I don't need this now that I have the leveled up straights, and then also I want to keep holding on to these planets to block duplicate planets. So let's go next. In the next round here, any straight easily wins, and so there's a straight. If I want, I could throw away this 3. Maybe I'll throw away the 2 as well, and I'll play the 7 high straight. Of course we get another 2 and a 5. There we go. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ship it. Alright, at some point we need to talk about what is our discard strategy. So like, you know, how am I able to get my straights is by having a good discard strategy. If you're frustrated with straights, it's possibly because your discard strategy needs to be better. But we just keep drawing the natural straights, so I don't know, we'll get there. We'll get there with the tutorial. Do I want Photograph? It's an eternal. So I'm committed to it forever if I do pick it up. I think if we are leveling up straights, currently it's a plus 10 mult, but it's plus 10 on scored. So it happens before, you know, any of my jokers up here. And so I think that can be very powerful. Of course, every additional Saturn card that we get is plus 2. So, you know, or it's plus 3, isn't it? Yeah, we buffed it to plus 3. And so, you know, Photograph grows stronger very quickly. We've already removed A2 and A3 from the deck, and so maybe in the end game our plan is to play high straights, face card straights. You don't necessarily have to play a lot of face cards, you just have to play one face card, so like a Jack high straight, for example. I think this is worth it, but before we buy it, let's open the Buffoon pack first so we get more information. Alright, we can take delayed gratification. This is maybe fine-ish on the blue deck. You know, we do have the Fist and Todd here allowing us to score pretty easily, even if we don't play a straight, and so maybe I can get some money from delayed gratification. It is perishable though. I think I'd rather use my discards and play 8s for an 8 ball, but then I'm currently holding on to these planets to block duplicates, so maybe we do take delayed gratification. Alright, what do I want to sell for the Photograph? I think I sell delayed gratification. I think currently it's nice having these Devious and Todd here, even though, you know, I already have 90 chips base for my straights. So we don't need this. We don't need gratification. We do have some, you know, To the Moon is perishable. So I guess this is going to become disabled before interest calculation. So actually this is already perished. That's something that I always forget about. I wish it was more obvious. I could see how much time is left on these. That is something that we consider with the design of the stickers, you know, the perishable stickers. Like, should we design it in such a way that you can tell at a glance, like what the time remaining is? Like if it has a 4 and then a 5, it's, you know, shows the number on the card. But we couldn't do it in a way that looked nice, and so we decided to just go with the sticker that gives no information. Alright, now we have money for this Arcana pack. We also have money for re-rolling, so together this is $9. So it would take me down to $29. So $29 is probably fine. If I am re-rolling, the main thing that I'm looking for is consumable cards. Not necessarily more jokers, but consumable cards. So I'm looking for tarot cards. I can buy it and then use it inside the Arcana pack. Tribe for flushes. I think we've moved away from that direction. I think, you know, some of these rare jokers are worthwhile to pivot into. So like if you get the tribe, you know, maybe it's worthwhile to pivot, or sorry, if you get the order, it's worthwhile to pivot into straights, or maybe it's worthwhile to pivot into full houses if you get the trio. But tribe only giving you ×2 is not really worth it. With the hallucination here, we could buy it for $1 and then just, you know, try to get value from it, but it would require me to sell these planet cards. These planet cards, because I'm using them to block duplicates, I'm gonna buy them again later. You know, if I sell one, I'm gonna buy another one for $3 anyway. So maybe we don't do hallucination. We will open the Arcana pack now. All right, Arcana pack, I have again here a gold card, you know, possibly lucky cards, possibly hearts. If I'm playing straights, I don't care about suits, so maybe I don't need hearts. Do I want lucky cards or do I want gold cards? I think lucky cards are a little bit easier to pull off, but gold cards pretty good. So I think what I'm gonna do, I wanna put this on a face card, you know, because I got the photograph here. I wanna play face cards. So let's put it on a jack. Diamonds or clubs? Did we have the clubs debuff boss already? I don't remember. Let's do jack of clubs here. Some consideration for taking early lucky cards, because if you have early lucky cards, you can unlock the lucky cat. Is like a pretty powerful, consistent source of scaling X-Molt, and so it's worth unlocking. Though, you know, I think the value that we get from the gold card, especially if we have the voucher here, the paintbrush, extra hand size, that's probably pretty good. All right, let's see if we can draw a high straight. Maybe we can keep a 7 and we can throw away a king. So looking for a jack for a straight or a 6. In that case, I don't need the king or the queen. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Is this enough even with only +4 from the fist here? Even without the photograph? I know we used our discards for the gratification. I think it was worth it to use the discards. Maybe we could have used our hands like discards. I just forgot about the gratification. My head was somewhere else. Let's do this. We could play the 2 just to throw it away. I think we'll be fine with the straight. Maybe what we'll do is we'll play the low straight because it's got more odd cards. Not quite there on the straight. Yeah, maybe we can play 2 pair now. Maybe we should play 1 pair, and then that way we can get more molt from the fist. And then we can draw 2 pair, maybe 10s and kings if we need it. Awkward. Okay, 10s and kings as 2 pair. That should be plenty now. And we get the gold card. Ah. Should have, in that situation, we should have gone for a higher straight. Or we should have gotten rid of the 2 for the fist. My thought was, you know, we have the level 3 straights and we have the devious joker, but I guess all of this is just chips and we need a source of molt. I thought with level 3 straights it could be enough molt, but I don't know. Anyway, Riffraff, it's too late for Riffraff. We could pick up a flash card here. It is a rental, but it is scaling and it's an uncommon scaler, so it's better than all the common scalers. You know, maybe this could be the kind of thing that we want. You know, maybe more consistent than the fist here, though potentially incompatible with photograph. So maybe this is the kind of thing that like later on we sell this and pivot into photograph. Or maybe knowing that I'm going to sell this later, maybe I don't pick it up now because as like a rental fee is like pretty expensive. Do I want these standard packs? Probably. So the thing that I'm looking for from standard packs are seals. Each individual card has a 20% chance of having a seal. And so if you open 3 cards, you have a pretty good chance of getting a seal. For example, this blue seal, and then also we know it's a face card for photograph. So, especially if we're playing straights. I mean, in general, blue seals are powerful, but if I'm playing straights, you know, here's the thing about standard packs is like, seals are very powerful, very high upside, and you don't get them if you don't open them. And so, standard packs early can be worthwhile. Let's try another one. A glass ace, potentially making it easier for us to play the high straights. 9 sort of serves the same purpose, right? You could play 9 through king straights. I think I don't want either of these things. I don't want to make it harder for me to get my gold and my blue card, so I'm going to skip here. And I still have to decide whether or not I want the flash card. Probably, you know, based on our current income generation, I could say we afford to reroll once per shop. So maybe this is too slow. If this came up later in the run, it could be worthwhile. But for right now, I'm going to pass on all this and I'm just going to keep holding on to my planet cards. All right, we could skip here for 40 bucks. You know, small blind doesn't have any reward money anyway. You know, we don't have any value generators upstairs. We do have value generation in the deck. We do have a gold card here. We do have a blue card here. If we skip here, are we going to have the scoring capability to score 13,000? My guess is it would be difficult. So I'm not going to skip here. What I need is, because if I skip here, you don't get to spend it until after you beat the next round. And so this is not something that I need. What I need is more shops. I need more booster packs so I can get another Saturn card. So let's go look for a high straight, though we are kind of close on the low straight here. Let's keep going for the high straight. That's a higher straight. So I'm like, you know, 110 away. Do I want to go for the 10? Or keep going for the high straight? I keep forgetting about delayed gratification. Not that I necessarily think that we should be going for delayed gratification. Like right now, our scoring is slightly challenging. You know, not impossible to where we're actually expected to lose, but it is challenging, I would describe it as. I'm going to go for the high straight. It's pretty high upside if we hit it. So I can go Jack 10, 9, 8 here. Now looking for a queen or a 7. I know we threw away our 7s, so just looking for a queen. Either way, looking for a queen. Maybe like this. We'll play this hand just to throw it away. Okay, so now I've got the ace, king, queen, jack here, 10. I have the highest possible straight. I have plus 10 molt from the photograph. I don't get very much molt from the fist, so maybe it's worth it to throw the 4. I also don't get very many chips from Todd here, but it should be fine with all of the molt that we get. We also have Devious Joker giving us chips. Yeah. Okay, Midas Mask is great as an Eternal is pretty bad. Okay, I have 1, 2, 3 planets. Celestial Pack has, you know, only 15% chance of not having a Saturn card. There we go. That's gonna help a lot. If we had skipped for the 40 bucks, or actually it was only 36 bucks, but if we had skipped, we might not have actually scored 13,000. Now, Jumbo Standard Pack. With the leveled up straight, maybe I don't need to reroll for Jokers just yet. You know, now my photograph is going to give me plus 13 molt. My photograph is scaling Joker. That's how I think about the photograph, is like early on it doesn't do very much, but then it like gets better later on, and so I think of it as a scaling Joker. But it's a scaling Joker that never goes out of style. Alright, standard pack. I have both a blue seal and a purple seal. So both of these are very good. Both of these are going to be very important. Which would I rather have? I think I'd rather have a mix. I think I'd rather have partially blue, partially purple. Maybe. If I'm going for flushes and I'm trying to pivot into flush houses, then I take the purple. If I'm playing straights, then maybe I can get away with not having as many tarot cards, and maybe the planet cards are more important. So let's take the blue seal. Also, the 10 is then closer to, I can make my high straights. I have an extra jack, I have an extra 10. So let's do that. I'm going to reroll one time. All right, banner, credit card. I think we don't need either of those. Go next. All right, I should still be able to do this with one straight, depending on how the fist goes here. Do I want to try to get the gratification money? Do I want to spend, you know, like 3 extra hands to get $4 extra? Yeah, maybe. If I know that I can win in one hand, let's do it. Okay, so we have a winning hand now. Ace, King, Queen, Jack, 10. The question is, should we dig? Should we dig for gold? Should we dig for blue seals? We have 38 cards in the deck. We have a lot of digging power, so I think I'm into it. And I think in that case, maybe I don't care about the delayed gratification anymore. Maybe I use my discards. And so like that's kind of the beef that I have with the green Joker. And you know, things like delayed gratification, like you get so much value from discarding. Like purple seals give you value from discarding, like straight up. You discard the purple seal, it gives you value. These blue seals, you get value from discarding to dig for them. Digging for them is worth value. Should I throw away the ace? Probably. I could get another ace. I could get a 9. So now we have the blue seal. Now probably we stop. Now probably we just play the hand. And Neptune, I could either sell it or use it. I'm going to use it. If I am playing straights now, there's a pretty good chance that I end up playing straight flushes in the future. Although, if I am getting a lot of blue seals, a lot of extra Saturn cards, then it's much harder for my straight flushes to keep up unless I'm actually playing straight flushes, which I'm not currently. Though maybe I'm not that far off. Alright, do I want to, with the 7s here, you know, try to get rid of them for the fist consideration, or is this going to be enough? Let's play this. 7 is high-ish, right? Stinky. Alright, if I want to get another straight, I need to get a 9, which I can do. If I don't get the 9, now I'm looking for an ace. This pair is too many points, isn't it? Yeah, with Todd and the fist here. So Let's do this. Let's get rid of Todd. Then is the pair too many points? Because then it's, you know, it's still like 24 chips, 24 times 20. 20 times 20 is not 1,000 points, so we can do this. Looking for a 9 or an ace. There we go. So king, there's the straight. Okay, so currently a straight there, you know, doing 10,000 points. You know, something to consider for the boss here. We need 2 straights. Though leveling up here helps a little bit. All right, so we got temperance for $8. We have astronomer. Astronomer is just like good in general, good value generator, getting free celestial packs, but also the planets in the shop are free. So I do want that. I do use temperance here for $12. And then we have money for Arcana packs. Okay, I have Priestess for more planets. Yes, we take planets because we have a good chance of getting Saturn cards. Try an Arcana pack again. Fool for another Priestess, or do I want to make a glass card, or do we want to make Molt cards? You know, Molt card could be pretty good with our photograph here. By the way, the order of operations here, if you do make an enhanced card, the enhancement happens first, and then the Joker effect happens second, and then the additions happen last. And so if I have like, you know, here a king and I make it into Molt. Actually, wait, that's not true about the additions. The additions are kind of conditional. So if I go to the... So the way that the additions work on Jokers is Polychrome always happens last. So whatever the effect is, Polychrome happens last. And then Holographic always happens first. And then foil doesn't matter, the order of operations. And so if you have like an X Molt Joker that's holographic, you'll get the +10 first because that's the optimal ordering. If you have like a plus Molt Joker that's polychrome, you'll get the polychrome after because that's the optimal ordering. And the playing cards are kind of the same way. Plus Molt happens first, X Molt happens later, except with the enhancements, the card enhancements, they don't obey the same rules of the additions. It's enhancements happen earlier, enhancements happen first. All this information is on the wiki, you can look it up yourself. Let's see here. Do I want a glass card? Or do I want Molt cards? Or do I just want more planets? I think for right now, we're halfway through the run, we're in round 10. I think I'd rather have the planet cards. Enhancement, you know, the plus Molt cards are going to make 1 or 2 hands more powerful, whereas like the planet cards make every hand more powerful. Also, we just like get money, we get value. So let's use the Priestess here. Terrible. That's okay. We have money for re-rolling. I will re-roll down to 32. We get a free Saturn card, we get a Hermit card. Between the two of these, I use Saturn first, I use Hermit second. In case there's a Fool, I'd rather copy a Hermit card than copy a Saturn card. Probably. And then I do have more money for re-rolling, so I will. We get a Temperance card for even more money. We get a Crazy Joker for +12 Molt. I think the gratification is something that I'm not interested in doing, so maybe I will take the Crazy Joker here. I don't think we can get 18,000 with one hand yet. Maybe we can, since we have level 6 straights now. We have +20 Molt from the photograph. I have money for re-rolling one more time. Earth card, I can, you know, just buy and sell planets with the Astronomer. So Astronomer making all the planet cards free essentially makes it so that, you know, rerolls are cheaper, basically, if you get planets that give you free money from the shop. So I'm not going to reroll again. I've already rerolled 3 times. I'd like to, even though I got a ton of money in this one shop, I want to spread out my reroll money. And so let's go next. All right, here what I'm looking at is I have a straight, and it's not a face card straight, so I'm not expecting it to be a very high straight. What I want to do is I want to play a straight just to get some points on the board. Yeah, if we get the face card straight, the face card straight wins. So now I'm looking for my gold cards. I'm looking for my seals. I'm actually going to throw away the aces and then go for the middle straight here. Okay, so we have the straight in hand. We have 2 more aces. We have 2 more 9s. Let's dig. Yeah, I guess fist doesn't matter anymore. Score-wise, I don't need the fist. If I use 3 hands, I get to see 9 cards. So is it worth $3 to see 9 cards out of 31? So I get to see slightly less than a third of my deck. I think it's worth it. Also, we have money in the bank, so it's fine. There we get the gold card. So 2 cards for $1. Spend $1, 2 chances to get the blue seals. I think I'm not going to do that. The expected value is not high enough. Okay. Photograph kicking in for us. Okay, strength could be a way to help us make our straights. We can turn, I want to turn 9s into 10s. I want to turn 8s into 9s. Green Joker, we don't need. It's rental eternal anyway. Magic Trick showing up a lot. That's not something that we're interested in. Maybe we'll try a standard pack. We don't have any enhancements here. We don't have any modified cards, so we skip the standard pack. Is strength worth selling these planets? Because currently these planets are blocking duplicate planets, so they have some value. But when I reroll with the astronomer, I can just get new planets for free, so I'll go ahead and sell the planets that I have, picking up the strength card. Before I open the Arcana pack, I do have money, so let's reroll first. Sun card. Do we want to pick up the sun and start making straight flushes, or are we just going to focus on straights? Probably, since we are playing on the gold stake, the easier thing to do is just stick with regular straights rather than straight flushes. So I'm not going to commit to hearts. If I re-roll, I go down to 41. Jumbo takes me down to 35. So I can afford at least one more re-roll. Hologram is particularly powerful. Scaling X-Molt Joker. I think if you're playing, of course, if you're playing low ranking hands, high card, 2 pair, so high card, pair, 2 pair, you don't really care what's in your deck, and so you just add whatever cards to your deck. If you're playing flushes also, maybe you don't care as much what you add to your deck. If I'm playing straights though, and I already have these blue seals in the deck, I'm not really planning on adding too many cards. So maybe hologram is not something that I want, though acknowledging hologram, of course, very powerful combo with magic trick, just picking up random cards from the shop. If I don't do straights, maybe what am I doing instead? Too late to pivot, or at least it looks like it's too late to pivot. So, of course, scaling X-Bolt on a hologram is pretty cool, but by getting the blue seals, I'm scaling my base, my straights, which gets multiplied by my photograph and gets multiplied by my glass cards and seal cards later. And so I think I can do more than hologram can with just blue seals. And so I'm going to pass. I will open this Arcana pack. I'm not going to re-roll a third time because I want to save my money for the next shop booster packs. I don't currently have any money generators except for the gold card. I am interested in another Priestess for Saturn cards, are particularly worthwhile right now. These 7s I can turn into 8s right away if I want. Normally I would hold on to the strength card, like wait until the next round, wait until I actually need this strength card. But because I have the Priestess here, I want to use the Priestess. Okay, then let's go next. I don't need to spend here, so I won't spend here. And 25,000 we can do with 2 straights. We didn't gain any additional scoring compared to the last round, so we just play 2 straights. Almost a high straight here in the opener. Let's play 7, 8, 9, 10 Jack. Let's play the low cards. I could discard first, but I know I can win with 2 straights, so even without the fist here. Yeah. I want to save my discards to find my seals. So we have the winning hand. Let's keep digging. I'm drawing 4 cards at a time, so I get to see more cards at a time. Let's try again. There's the blue seal. So 1, 2... Wait, I need to keep this Jack. Is it worth it? $1 to see 3 cards? 3 cards with a blue seal and a gold card? For only $1, I'll do it. Nice. Which means we get rid of both of these planets. Obviously that was lucky. Honestly, that was lucky that we got the 2 blue seals. The odds of us getting it were not very high, but it was high enough that it was worth spending $1. And so there, you know, that was our best possible straight. 20,000 points was not enough to one-shot, and so that's why we played the first straight. But now, with 2 more Saturn cards, like this is a pretty big difference. 2 more Saturn cards. The next round, I think we can hit 30,000, but I don't think we can hit 37,000. We could pick up Michelle here. It's a little bit late for Michelle, but there's a chance. Also, by the way, with this being perishable, once this becomes debuffed, the chance to be destroyed stops happening. And so if this doesn't get destroyed in 5 rounds, it's never going to be destroyed. What I can do is I can replace my Crazy Joker. I could replace the Fist here. None of these things really matter because the Photograph is already doing all of the work. Photograph is giving us plus 25 molt. Maybe Devious Joker doesn't matter as much anymore if I have 240 chips already. Though I guess the extra plus molt is kind of redundant. Yeah, our Jokers don't really matter anymore, which is like typical. Alright, we take a Saturn card here. We open the Arcana pack looking for a Fool. If we don't get a Fool, we can make this blue seal. We can make Derek here. Then I think I do want Michelle. I'm willing to take a chance. I'm willing to bet on Banana. If we are going to bet on the Banana, we need to... Crazy Joker, Fist. Probably... Crazy Joker's better on average. Fist is better... I mean, has higher potential. Let's get rid of the Crazy Joker since it's perishable anyway. And do I want to re-roll 1 time? Yes. Okay. And I'm not going to re-roll again. Let's go next. And so they're demonstrating, you know, there were a couple rounds where I held off on re-rolling. I held my money because I wanted to spread out my re-rolls between multiple shops. And so re-roll 3 times, re-roll only 1 time here because we didn't generate that much money on a round-to-round basis. Alright, Boss is extra large. Boss could be kind of troubling, though if we get Derek here in our hand, then we should be fine. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We can play 1 straight. Not expecting it to win. 20,000 points for that straight is honestly like more than I was expecting. Just getting the 2 levels, even without the Photograph, was kind of huge. So let's go for, I need another Jack. Yeah, looking for another Jack. So either way, we're going to need the Jack. So I'll play the King here. We do have the fail case of if we don't draw straight, we just play the straight with the Jack here. And so this is why I suggest, you know, if you have an option for the blue seal, if you have an option for the steel card, put it on a card that you never discard. I never discard Jacks, unless I have like a lot of them. And we get incredibly lucky here. We just get the nuts. So ship it. So that's our best hand with the steel card. You have to acknowledge with the steel card, we do have like 50,000 points there. Now higher. So this boss should be a chump. Okay. Is it time to hit the road? Not if we're playing straights. If I wasn't playing straights specifically, if I was playing flushes, if we're playing full houses, I would hit the road. But not for straights. Alright, I want to buy this Celestial Pack. I want to buy this Spectral Pack. I'm questioning, you know, what's the order of operations here? I want to reroll first to find tarot cards that I can use while I'm shopping inside the Spectral Pack here. So, you know, let's make room for the Clown. Maybe Devious Joker doesn't matter anymore. Like I said, we've got 300 chips base now. Michelle's not doing a whole lot for us, but we don't need her to do very much. We just need her to go away. Maybe we get rid of the Fist. That way we can get the roll. Acrobat ×3 on our final hand. This is winning technology. This can be what wins you the game, but it's a rental, and there's some bosses that this doesn't really work for. You know, like there's the boss where, you know, debuffs a random joker every hand that you play, and it keeps jumping around. This being eternal rental, I don't feel super great about. This is early enough in the run. I feel like I have enough time to get something different than this, get something better than this. So I'm gonna keep the value generators for now. Typically in Ante 5, your scoring requirements are high enough that you don't get to do this. You don't get to do these value generators. You have to have all 5 scoring jokers by Ante 5. You know, generally I suggest 1 scoring joker per ante. But because we have the blue seals, because we have leveled up straights so much by now, I'm allowed to have these extra value generators. Extra scoring is extra money, is what I'm saying. And that is part of the value of opening the early standard packs. You don't find the blue seals unless you open them, right? So I don't think we need Acrobat. So what's my budget look like? My budget looks like I can afford to reroll one more time. We've got a summit here for chips. We could take the swashbuckler here. Okay, plus molt, I don't need either of these things. Do I want the chips? Also no. If I buy this, I go down to 33. We have the boss coming up, and so do I want to save my money for the next shop? I'll get a voucher that I might want to buy. Let's save the money for the next shop. Let's open the Celestial Pack looking for Saturn. If we don't get Saturn, we can still take Neptune, though with the blue seals, it's not going to matter. It's not going to matter. Let's open a Spectral Pack. Ankh or Wraith for a random rare. I think a random rare is not really what I'm interested in, and especially not if it's going to cost me 33 bucks, but a copy of a Joker, copy of Photograph is actually pretty compelling. Now we're invincible. Yeah. Now every hand has a glass card in it. 2 glass cards, because I have 2 ×2s here. Now I'm interested in, you know, picking up Summit for just a little bit extra chips. So this plus 50 chips from the Summit is like, you know, plus 12% or 15% or something like that. Maybe now I will re-roll since I lost all my jokers. Like, I definitely think I have enough scoring, but I might want something like Temperance makes me sad. I could take a Devious Joker here, rental. I don't think I need the rental Devious Joker. Tell you what we do. We take the Temperance, cost 5 bucks. Devious Joker, I can always sell it. Do I want to go down to 26? Sure. Eternal Clown. Eternal money generating clown. Free rerolls. I think we're strong enough that I can do this if I want to. But I think we don't need to. I already have 2 Eternal Photographs. Let's take the Clown. So Clown makes your first reroll cheaper, right? But it does not increase the cost of future rerolls. So it effectively, you know, the more times you reroll, the more value that it generates, because it gives you a $1 discount on all future rerolls because the one reroll doesn't increase the cost of future rerolls. Zany Joker, Uranus here. Let's just use the Temperance now. All right. Do I want to hold on to Uranus here? Because I have these blue seals, which aren't supposed to come up all the time, but they do come up rather consistently. And so, you know, I like holding on to the planet cards to block duplicate planet cards. I'll wait until the next shop. We'll pass. We don't need Uranus here. Let's go next. All right, 100,000. All we got to do is hit some reasonable straights, high card straights. I'm going to keep the king because I'm going to need 2 kings. All right, so 9, 10, jack. If I throw away 2 kings, I only have 1 king left in the deck. And so if I want to go for a second straight, I could play, you know, maybe a queen through 8 straight is possible. So let's do that. If I throw away a 10, I still have 3 more 10s left in the deck. Let's do this. So 7, 8, 9, 10. I will play the jack. And I don't think this wins. 100,000? 100,000 seems high to me. I don't think this wins. Which is good because I want to play 2 straights. Let's see here. If I do with the chips here, this is something like, you know, 380. No, 360. 360 times 34. So like, what's 35 times 35? I don't know off the top of my head. It's about 30 times 30 is 9,000, and then times 4, this should be fine. Do I want to play the high cards? Do I want to throw away the king? Nice. Cool. Now we just go for a 10, and then we're good. I could go for a 2, though the 10 is going to be easier to hit, so let's go for the 10. So we do have the 10 here. We could go greed. We can go for the another 10. Sorry, not another 10, but another jack for the blue seal. All right, 3 cards for me to get the blue seal. I think we don't do. I think we just play this. And we already know we get 50,000 for a straight. Nice. That was the wall. That was 100,000. And so, you know, the next round is going to be way easier. Next round says we need 60,000. So, you know, maybe still 2 straights, but 2 straights is fine. I do want this overstock. I do want these booster packs. So I'm not going to buy any tarot cards. Or sorry, I'm not going to buy any planet cards. Agate could be good. Very powerful. I think agate is very good. I think we don't need it, but I think it's very powerful. Agate. Let's roll here. We could pick it up for $1 in case there's a temperance. We have Devious Joker we don't need. Devious Joker representing like plus, you know, 25% to what we're currently doing. Death card. That seems very potent. That seems very helpful. Do I want this Luchador? Disables boss blind. Cards drawn face down after played. If I need to play 2 straights, that seems pretty stinky. And so maybe Luchador is going to help me with that. I'm kind of into that. Because I'm playing straights specifically, it could be hard for me to get two hands with this effect here. You know, I only have the two discards, and I want to use my extra hands. If I wasn't playing straights, if I was playing flushes, I wouldn't care about the face down cards. Do I want these Arcana packs? With $22 in the bank, I want to save up my money for interest, but these are jumbos. They have a pretty good chance of giving me money, so I will. Fool gives me a Saturn card, which is not money, but it's worthwhile. What I can do is I can use the Death card, and I can use the Fool card to get into the Death card. So like a 2, I can make another Jack here. I can use the Death card to copy Derek, and then Derek allows me to one-shot, allows me to get 60,000. I think we don't open the second Arcana pack, just so that we don't hurt our interest too much. I'm going to sell the agate so I don't have to pay the rental fee. And let's go next. Alright, so there's Derek. We look for... I guess I keep a 10. I am going to make an extra one. Yeah, just a queen or a 7. Shouldn't be that hard. We get the queen, and we get an extra jack. Huge. So we go extra Derek. Queen, Jack, 10, 9, 8, and that's it. With just these two photographs. Look at that. Makes me laugh. Use the Saturn cards. Use the Saturn cards here in case there's a Saturn card in the shop. Hierophant for the bonus chips. Probably we don't need. Mega Standard Pack, probably we don't need anymore. We have good card quality in the deck already. Buffoon Pack we also probably don't need, so let's re-roll. I don't need 8-Ball, I don't need Scholar. Strength is pretty good, because now I have, you know, I use the Death cards, I have extra 10s and extra Jacks. I'd like to turn one Jack into a Queen. Maybe one Jack into a Queen, one 10 into a Jack. Maybe one of these, you know, maybe turn Derek into a Jack. I really do like this Strength card. Do I want Hiker? I don't really have a reason not to take it, other than like, you know, saving money for interest. Is this Buffoon Pack worth $7? Probably worth $7. With it being a jumbo here, there's a chance of us getting, you know, some other kind of value generator. I forgot how much we scored with the 2 Derek in our hand. We could pick up the gelato here. We could pick up popcorn we don't need because of these photographs. I guess all of this we don't need. So gelato's worth $2. I guess we hold on to it. Maybe we sell it for interest. I need 2 straights. This Jack or a Jack, or maybe a 9 I can turn into another 10. Actually, we have plenty of 9s. Sorry. Yeah. Give me a 10. I'm going to throw the king. Show me a 10. Okay, so 8, 9, 10, Jack, Queen. This straight doesn't win because we don't have the steel cards. I'm going to sell the gelato for the money. So let's play the straight that doesn't win. Close, actually. We keep leveling up our straights, and then so it gets closer and closer. Now with Derek here, this is 120,000 for a straight, so that's good information for the boss. We only need one hand. Maybe we don't need the luchador if we can just win in one hand. So I can do... How are we on 9s? We got 4 9s in the deck. I have 8s, 6 8s that can turn into 9s. Maybe that's something that I want to do with my strength card as well. I said I wanted to turn one Jack into a Queen, and that's probably what I'll do. So maybe we get rid of the 9. Okay, so I've got Ace, King, Queen, Jack, 10 here. I could go for another different 10 or a 9. 10 or a 9. Let's do that. We have an 8. Wait. No, I need a... Yeah, I do need a 9. So let's keep going here. Let's keep digging. Yeah, still looking for a 10 or a 9. So 8 is not it. We have 2 blue jacks. We don't need 3 of them. So I guess now I have it. Okay. And then so with the strength card, maybe what I want to do, we said a jack and a 8. That gives me an extra queen. That gives me an extra 9. And we can play these. Perfect. I forgot we have like 4 blue seals in the deck. This run is done. I'm not sure how much we're learning anymore, but this run is cooked. We can take a steel card for Eternal here, Eternal Northern Lion. This late in the game, I think we don't take. We get a free roll here. All right, Showman doesn't really, we could get another photograph, but that's not really what we're looking for. Rental Green Joker. I will take a chance on Michelle here. It is going to cost me a little bit of interest, but it's got high upside. Low chance, low chance. 1 in 6 chance that she'll leave us is what we want to happen. But it doesn't really cost me anything anyway, so. All right, I'm looking for a 10, any 10. That's a 10. So we have the winning hand. That means I can discard more if I want. So do we want this? Do we want to use the Luchador? I think we don't need to. All right, what do we want to be steel? So we have 2 steel 10s. We have extra jacks, we have extra 9s. Let's make a steel 9. Steel 9, and then I am just gonna play it because I already know I have enough points with just Derek here. Yeah, 160,000. Saturn card here. We are scaling quite rapidly. Okay. Boss says is fine actually. We have a skip for a negative tag here. Seed money, I do want. Chariot, I do want. Arcana pack, if I am taking the seed money, maybe we don't take the Arcana pack. We do take Chariot, we take a free roll here. Spades we don't need. Seed money takes me down to 22 bucks. So, you know, you could think about if I apply the Arcana pack here, I go down to 27. Or what is it, 28, so I still have like the maximum amount of interest, but buying the Arcana pack makes it take longer before I have 50, takes longer before I'm able to afford the seed money. And so like generally speaking, that's, you know, kind of true, is like if I buy early packs, not only does it cost me interest, but also cost me the ability to make future purchases. And so maybe let's go next. Luchador is going to get sold. Maybe we can save this for the final boss. Handy tag gives us 44 bucks. Would I rather have 44 bucks, or currently our value generation is 2 blue seals for 2 Saturn cards and we get a free reroll in the shop? That's better. So let's play. All right, here. Let's look for a jack or a 6. We get the jack, 10, 9, 8, 7. This is a winning hand, which means maybe we dig. Show me Derek. Nope. We can get 12 cards at the cost of 4 bucks. Is it worth it? 4 bucks to see 12 cards? I think the odds are good enough now. Maybe since I have the extra queens, I don't need this 7, and I can go for... Actually, we've got 5 hands. Let's go for the queen and the king. Let's do that. There's a queen and a king. Probably now I settle. Otherwise, I've got outs to draw either an ace or a 9. There's only 4 of those in the deck, so I'll keep the 9 here. Alright, one more time here. Alright, we didn't get the payout, but that's okay. It was still worth it to try. You know, just like with Celestial Packs. Still worth it to try, even if you don't always get paid. Let's make... I'm gonna make a Steel Jack. I'm gonna make a Steel King, because I already have like the Blue Jack and the Blue Queen here. Gold Jack. Let's make a Steel King. And then of course we play it. Alright, Priestess, Celestial Packs. This is great. This is perfect. So we use the Priestess. A little bit late on the runner. We already have, you know, 540 chips from our straights. So, you know, we'll see you again later, friend. Let's try again. So Pluto, Jupiter, Earth. Now I can open the Celestial Packs. Show me Saturn. Nope. Saturn again. Neptune maybe? Nope. Alright, do I want a strength card? Strength card to maybe turn my 8s into 9s to help me make straights? Maybe. Now I can't afford the seed money because I opened the booster packs. So, I mean, it's still worth it. I think it's still worth it for the Celestial Packs because of the high upside of hitting Saturn cards. Though maybe if I have enough Saturn cards from, you know, obviously there it didn't pay out. If I have enough Saturn cards from Blue Seals, maybe I don't need the ones from booster packs also. You do get diminishing returns. Like as a percentage of your score, the more that you have, the less impactful each additional one is. Let's go next. Negative tag we don't need. Alright, I said 8s into 9s. That's currently what I have presented to me. I could go an 8 and a 6 here. That's okay. So 8, 9, 10, Jack, Queen. We have a natural straight here. Do I want to use the strength card? So maybe I could turn a 6 into a 7 since I'm light on 7s. Or I can turn... I have an extra Jack still. I have extra 10s still. So maybe we continue that. We go Jack and 10 here. It doesn't really do anything right now, but it'll be worth it in the future. You know, once we turn 9s into additional 10s, I will want my 10s to be turned into Jacks. Strength card is not really the thing that really helps you make straights. I forgot to sell the Pluto card. Dang it. I forgot. Mime. So Mime is going to be really good with steel cards. It's going to be really good with our plus hand size voucher. It is going to be expensive. But, you know, if we get the gold card, that's also extra money too. Maybe between, also with this boss here, you know, the extra draws here. What's nice about the Mime is you only have to have one blue seal instead of having multiple blue seals. So like, that's nice. Combo with parking. But maybe parking being rental is not worth it. I think now it's time to say goodbye to Michelle here. I think the Luchador has some use against the final boss. I think I still open these Celestial Packs. High upside. Pretty good chance. Skip. I'm gonna skip there in case I get a fool card. We get a free reroll here. I'm gonna sell the plutonium before I forget about it. You know, maybe even bloodstone's not that bad. You play like 2 hearts as part of your straight. Doing with this seed money, it is right now gonna cost me interest. I think I don't want the seed money actually. It's gonna take me, I only have 1 ante left. It's gonna take me a while to get up to 50. So let's just go next. Okay, low cards, you just discard them. Repeats, you discard them. So what do we have? King, queen, jack, 10. Not quite there on a straight, you know, somewhat humorously. So I'm gonna dig for gold. Now I have the straight. Is it still worth it to dig for gold? I get to see 9 new cards for a chance to get $6. Nah. We'll just play the straight. Oh, interesting. Without the steel cards, that's not a winning hand yet. So, I mean, that's fine. Let's play a 2, that way we can dig. Okay, now we have the steel card. Now we play the straight. What am I missing here? I'm missing the king. Now the king wins. Yeah. By the way, you know, the way that you calculate your interest cap, normally you're like, I want to have $25 in the bank, or if you have the seed money, you want to have $50 in the bank. With the rentals, you just add the rental fees to whatever your interest cap is. So currently my interest cap is $28 in the bank. That way I can cover all my fees. And if I had seed money, it would be $53 in the bank. And so taking seed money there, you'd have to, you know, $53 is hard for me to get up to. And you know, this is part of the why we designed the rentals to be before the interest is calculated, because it makes it, you know, more complicated, and I think, you know, more challenging, more interesting. It is gold stake, right? It is the highest level of difficulty, and so we do want it to be challenging. And I think it still could afford to be more challenging. All right, here with the runner, we've got, yeah, too late for the runner, rental, eternal. What's the boss situation here? Boss forces a card to be selected. So this could be the situation we use the luchador. Hone. Hone is good, better earlier, right? Because this, you know, the more chances you have to do this, the more rerolls you have for jokers, the more this gets used. But this late, I'm not going to see that many more jokers, so probably we don't take Hone. We don't need the standard packs. Like I said, our card quality in the deck is already pretty good. We get the free roll here. Maybe I want Faceless Joker instead of this Luchador. I could try to get some money. I don't feel great about discarding face cards if I'm trying to play the high straights, you know? I think here, okay, we said we need $28 in the bank. I could spend down to 30, but if I spend, I don't get to buy. So I'm going to save my money for future booster packs. And go next. All right, let's look for a king. That's not a king yet. I'm going to throw the jack, keep the jack. Let's throw the jack. Where's the kings? We'll get it. Pretty good chance we get a king. Though there's also 5 9s if we want to go for the 9. 4 kings. So there's more 9s than there are kings. So we should just go for the 9. We do get the king now that we've thrown the ace away. Well, we have outs to draw either the 9 or the ace now. Okay, so king, queen, jack, 10, 9. And we've got Derek in hand, so with the mime, that should be enough points. Even without the mime, plenty of points here. So steal 1.5 times, mime makes it 2.25 times. So if we scored half as much, that would still be enough to win here. For the boss, we need to have at least one steal card in hand for the mime, and then we have the boss beat. That's it. So maybe what we're looking for now, can I get an extra steal card? Or if I get a glass card, then I don't need a steal card. I want to try to one-shot the boss. So re-roll. Uranus here we don't need. Empress. Yeah, maybe Empress. Raising our base mult. Our base mult is already 76, so maybe we don't need the Empress. Alright, $33 in the bank. Maybe having the extra discard instead of having the Luchador here. I think I'd rather have the Luchador for this boss, but I'd rather have the extra discard for temporarily. Yeah, let's just go next. Alright, so discard looking for this wins. Not without steal cards. Okay. This is money. Let's go for a steal card. If we get the steal card, we only play one straight instead of trying to play two straights. There we go. That's a winning hand. Do I want to discard for... Extra steal doesn't help me. Alright, we're at 600,000. We almost would have won without the steal. Almost. Alright, let's try the Spectral Pack. Maybe before the Spectral Pack. Can I get some tarot cards? Maybe not. I am going to spend all my money, so if I am going to spend all my money, do we hold on to planets? Or do we hold on to tarot cards? Let's hold on to planets. Mercury. Nope. Rebate. Nope. Ticket, trio, nope. Magician, maybe magician. Maybe we go magician here and then open the Spectral Pack. Alright, Spectral Pack, I have another Ankh. I could go Hex for Polychrome. Random rare, free rare. Alright, so here's like kind of an interesting proposition. Would you rather have a free rare or Polychrome or another copy of a random Joker? Could get a clown. Nice. With the photograph, any straight wins. Now we don't need the mime. Now we don't need the steal cards. Now we don't care about this. One card forced to be selected. So, don't want to try the standard pack. Just to see. Extra jack, extra queen. Which of those most helpful? Probably the extra jack. Let's do it. If this weren't the final round, I would skip there, but because it's the final round, having the extra jack is not bad. You know, I want extra queens and jacks, and then that way I get the higher cards more easily. Okay, so to get the straight, I need a queen, specifically, or maybe a 10. I'm going to discard like this. Maybe I'll discard the 8. Because I'm not going to get a 7. So there's the ace. Now I'm missing the 10. Let's go for the 10. Still missing on the 10. So let's discard like this. Now, where's all my 10s? Got a lot of decent number of 10s. We do have 53 cards in the deck, so you gotta like acknowledge that. So now 9, 10, we can put the lucky cards here. So 9, 10, Jack, Queen, King. Ship it. Look at that. Makes me laugh. Alright folks, that's it. We were able to, when we played on the red deck, we ended up losing, and we said, you know, even though you lose, that doesn't necessarily mean that you made any incorrect decisions when you are playing on the gold stakes. You know, having higher than 30% win rate is still very impressive. You know, you're not going to win every time, and so that's fine if you lose some of them. Here we did end up going, we did the straights. Definitely, in my opinion, I think Saturn cards are more powerful than they need to be. And so demonstrating here, you know, we were able to win fairly easily with straights. The question is like, how consistently can you draw your straights on like, you know, a 52 card deck? Definitely if you're playing abandoned deck, you can get straights very consistently on the abandoned deck. If you're playing on the red and blue decks, I think that also makes it, you know, easier for you to get your straights. And so, you know, hoping here to demonstrate that it's not that hard. It's not that hard to draw straights. And so, you know, if you just want to get easier wins on the gold stakes, you could just force straights every time. You could just spam straights, and you'll probably have pretty high win rate with that. But, you know, for me, maybe that's not the most interesting way to play the gold stakes. So I'm going to try not to play straights every time, but this time we really did get the technology where it made sense, and so that's what we did. And in the future we'll kind of experiment and see what other kind of paths are viable. You know, I think also the like flushes into 4 of a kind I think is a reasonable path. Flushes into full flush houses we tried to do last time, and we got kind of unlucky with our draws. So, you know, that's going to be it for this one. We'll do gold stakes again, not every day, but every once in a while. Take care, everyone.